$10,000 contempt, Murphy, just for showing up.
What?
What do you mean?
I didn't even do nothing yet.
Yeah, you showed up.
I think everybody's opposed to me because I'm the greatest man alive. I'm a golden god. Everybody wants to be Kyle Pred, and the people who don't want to be Kyle Pred just can't fucking admit it.
How do you think this case is going to go for you?
Everything for me always goes well because I am a fucking winner.
How many contempt charges do you think the Senate's going to give you during this case?
I look forward to asking for a transport when I go to prison.
None.
By senatorial decree, 10% of all contempt charges will be applied to Murphy Braun. No arguments, Braun.
Whoa!
On March 22nd, 2022, Kyle Pred sought to lay claim to this building like a dog urinating on a fire hydrant.
If Kyle Pred is impersonating a peace officer, then quite frankly, this case will show he is bar none the absolute best to ever do it. The only problem is, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Pred is, in fact, a peace officer.
How did you get your title as captain?
I cried until I got promoted.
I need to ask, specifically because we have assigned a carer to you. Have you spoken with your carer before you decided to come up to the stand?
I haven't told them shit. Who decides the ranks and titles of the Paleto Bay Sheriff's Office?
Okay, you.
That is right. I do. And if I wake up tomorrow and want to call myself Jedi Master Emperor Pred, I will do it. If I want all my people to wear robes and have lightsabers, I will make that happen.
Just before we cross, hey, Fred, can you spell chief for me, please?
CHIEFKEF.
Titus, stop talking for a moment.
Thank you.
Hey, fuck you, Bass.
That's contempt. That's contempt. That's contempt.
What are you
sorry about, buddy?
Come back here.
I thought we were in recess.
I don't give a shit. That's $10,000, 10 months.
Back to our circle.
All right, fuck you again, Bass.
No, come back to the
Another
circle.
10.
Doug, stop looking like that. We will have Marcel
His
take care of you.
face. No, that's his face. He's not reaching. That's his face.
Why does he keep giving me stink eye, Demi?
Oh,
my God.
Whoa, what is he
Oh,
doing?
whoa,
He's
whoa,
getting
whoa,
aggressive.
whoa,
He's getting
whoa,
aggressive.
whoa,
What doing?
Leave him alone. That's his face.
Why is he escalating?
It's not escalating.
Apologize, you're.
Thank Surge Cross for his mercy in shooting you.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your mercy.
Punk shouldn't even be alive.
Yeah,
They're a genetic monstrosity.
Wrangler,
Frankly,
10
they're a
months,
slap in the
10K
face to
fine.
God.
Okay, stop. All of you, stop. Make
Somebody
the dog sit,
shoot
Demi.
that dog.
No.
Oh,
Make the dog sit, Demi.
whoa,
Don't
Demi,
shoot
control your
anything,
dog.
Fred.
Thank you. Carry on.
Tell me to pull the trigger.
Wrangler,
Tell me to
put
something to say
the gun
about
away
Wrangler
and sit down.
requesting him be shot.
Yeah, put
Tell
it
me to
down,
do it, Brett.
Wrangler. Put it
No,
down.
put the gun
Oh my
down.
God! Don't shoot me!
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Everybody who just shot the firearm in this courthouse,
Oh!
300K, 300
All right.
months.
All right,
And
all right,
I'm
all right.
not stopping until it's over.
Okay, all right. That's it. Take my gun.
The
Take my
weapon in
gun.
cuffs now. Someone arrest whoever shot that gun.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
It's not a court case without someone getting shot.
It
was Bundy.
It's not the first time.
I just want to point out they got
God
the
would
biggest
want me
hater
to
of
kill
the
this dog.
PD to
Shut up,
represent.
Wrangler.
Right?
Punks!
Just want to point that out.
Punks are not punks!
That was in his opening.
Punks are not punks!
Bison, put him in the corner.
That's interesting because it shows
We'll deal with him after the court case.
Keep an eye on Wrangler.
Wait, did Doug actually get shot?
Did you say everyone that
discharged,
including the beanbag shot? Yeah.
Oh my God.
They look like a failed abortion.
Oh my God!
You should have been one.
Oh my God.
Look, if I didn't shoot that dog, it just would have been able to not breathe. You know, as they get older, their eyeballs pop out of their fucking skull.
So Bass has had a lot of time to answer this.
Their eyeballs fall out of their head.
Wait, Bundy's
that
getting
dog's
charged too, right? He fired a gun.
Talk about eyeballs.
I'll happily
get it.
accept it for beanbagging a dog murderer.
I'm pretty sure I saw.
Someone put Bison in
Danny,
contact.
Bison, continue yourself,
please, for the love of God.
Wrangler, you had to spend 1
This
week in the park
department is in
rangers.
shambles.
Sorry, Bison.
All right,
He's spending
the
1
senator
week in the
has
park.
ruled
Baby.
he will spend 1 week as a park ranger.
You stated he was wearing an LSPD uniform. You stated he identified himself as LSPD and that he utilized the LSPD account. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How do you know any of that?
Based on the facts and evidence, Rhodes.
You keep referring
my
to facts
goodness.
and evidence, and that is the
That's my
vaguest
answer
thing.
to your
Be more
question.
specific. What facts and what evidence?
Facts and evidence.
What facts and what evidence?
Facts and evidence.
Make it
I
happen.
pulled up to Hayes Auto to get a repair as there was nobody at Autos. I went there. My good friend was there. My good friend was there. We had a conversation. We were talking about things. I got my car repaired there, and I said, "Hey," he was like, "Hey, what's your thing?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, 1323." I gave him my state ID. He was like, "Oh, I already put it down for thingy mabob." I was like, "Oh, you don't have to do that. Just bill me directly." And he didn't bill me directly. Oh, Shane Powers. It was Shane-O. You know Shane-O. Yeah, me and Shane-O, we go way back. So I was like, you know what? He's like, well, I already did the thingy. So I was like, all right, well, just I'll have Jenny. Can you just call Jenny, get in contact with her, and we can work out a budget with you, and then we can get that whole thing squared away. And then as far to my knowledge, I talked to him after this thing was posted to the docket, and he just said he forgot to get a hold of Jenny.
Fred, at any point in time, did you identify yourself as an LSPD officer?
No, I hate the LSPD and would never do that ever.
Could you look at your left arm for
Jenny
me?
won by a landslide.
A little patchy
Yes.
thing that's on the left-hand side. Could you read what that says to
In
me?
fact, Pred was like
Hold on.
fourth.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dead ass.
I don't think
he's
flexible enough.
Tebde Elapa.
Oh no, you're reading it. You're reading it upside down. Does somebody have a
Oh.
mirror?
Sorry, Bundy, it might be helpful for the carer to help him on this.
Oh yeah, Care, could you help him with this one? Help him fold his
Danny,
little
what's
shirt
this
sleeve
say?
over.
Oh, it says Los Santos Police Department.
Sheriff, what is it that gives you the specific authority to change the name and designation of your own rank?
I just changed my rank to Emperor Pred. Just now.
Just now, you're the Emperor?
Just now, I'm the Emperor now.
Where does that fall in comparison to Sheriff?
Yeah.
Where does that fall in comparison to Sheriff, Judge, and Senator? Are you like between the judges and the senators now, or?
What do you mean between? Like some type of spicy three-way?
Bass, you make it feel like it's X-Mass. You make me feel like I'm high class. I think you have a real nice ass. Bass, you have a healthy body mass, parentheses index. I want to make love to you in the grass so we can have babies en masse.
What is this?
So romantic.
I love you, Bass. I love you.
In 1949, 5 domestic cats were brought to Marion Island as pets for the purposes of rodent control. However, domestic cats were not native to this area and as such had no natural control or predators, and an abundance of food was at their disposal. By 1977, those numbers had skyrocketed from 5 to 3,400. Their predatory nature caused vast damage to local wildlife, eviscerated the natural seabird nesting sites on the island, and other animals in the area were brought to local extinction. To control the spread of these cats, the government attempted several things. Diseases were introduced specifically to curb their population. hunting regulations were lifted and hunters killed and trapped hundreds of these cats, and to this day, the island has not recovered from the introduction of this species. Similarly to 1949, in 2021, Kyle Pred was elected as the sheriff of the Blaine County Sheriff's Office. Like a parasitic hairworm, Kyle Pred has crawled into the Blaine County Sheriff's Office, scooping out its intestines and operating it from the inside like it's a puppet, draining all signs of life that originally remained inside of it. These examples are used because Kyle Pred is like the cats of Marion Island or the parasitic hairworm, an invasive species capable of causing extensive damage when he is not controlled and regulated. The facts of this case are very simple. On March 22nd, 2022, Kyle Pred concocted a harebrained scheme. He would declare himself as the chief of police of the Davis Police Department. This is not a title or position that was granted to him by any governing body. There was no discussion amongst members of police high command. And like a feral cat hunting a rabbit that it has no intention on eating, Kyle Pred simply unilaterally did this because he was bored. Previously throughout this week, while we were working on other investigations, Kyle Pred was back to wearing his old sheriff's vest. Kyle Pred claimed dominion of the Davis Police Department despite taking no efforts to ensure that the Paleto Bay Sheriff's Office is put to proper use first, a husk of a building otherwise let to rot in decrepitude. He wore the sigil of the Los Santos Police Department and even went so far as to go to Hayes Auto Body Repairs, a location that the PBSO has no contract with, wearing the sigil of the LSPD, calling himself the chief of police to seek out repairs. Kyle Pred intentionally went to an automotive shop where, due to his own department's lack of a running invoice, he would be required to personally pay for repairs and services. He derived a benefit by wearing the uniform of the LSPD and utilizing the budget of the LSPD for his own automotive repairs, and then turned around and left without paying. Today, we ask this court and the Senate to impose the rule of law against Kyle Pred and enforce its prior order. We ask the government of this state to take measures to ensure that the invasive species that is Kyle Pred is contained before any further damage is done to the species he stands to cause the most harm against, the citizens and the government of the great state of San Andreas. Thank you, Your Honors.
Your Honors and the Senate. Today, we've heard from several people, one of which is Tracy Martell, who really said not much outside of a discussion of ranks within a department she's not part of. Stuff that's mostly irrelevant. We've also heard from Bass, who himself said he's of equal rank to Pred. We've also heard that within Kyle Pred's department, regardless of its name, Pred can assign, reorganize, or create any specific rank within his own department. We then again heard from Bass, who continuously indicated that Pred should be found guilty of fraud because, and I quote, facts and evidence, which he repeated over and over again, and then struggled to indicate any fact or evidence in this case. And that's because he wasn't present during that fraud situation, or which he claims was a fraud situation. There is no witness here today to testify to any of what happened outside of Kyle Pred and the person being accused of fraud. Kyle stated he never identified himself as LSPD, never told him to charge the LSPD. Pred told him his state ID so he himself could cover the repair costs, and when they indicated that it was covered, Pred even indicated and directly told them to call Jenny Hall to organize payment and set up a contract moving forward. Which then brings us to the next point. Why didn't they call Mr. Otto? Is it Tom Otto? Is it Tomato? I don't know. But the only witness to this supposed fraud case, and the reality is it's likely because they didn't want to bring up the fact that they didn't do their due diligence because it would ruin their fraud case. This case, at best, is some of the shoddiest police work I have personally seen. The LSPD should be embarrassed. Now, that said, this boils down to the fact that the LSPD is maliciously pushing charges against Kyle Pred because, I mean, in my mind, I think they're jealous of what was originally the department considered the underdog, which now far exceeds any sort of expectation set and outpaces the LSPD in almost every aspect. Now, that being said, Kyle Pred is a police officer. Kyle Pred is a peace officer. Kyle Pred is every variant of a law enforcement officer, regardless of rank or department or title, and nobody here can dispute that. The LSPD is the only department pushing us away from any semblance of a unified police department, and Kyle Pred, quite frankly, should not be found guilty of any of these charges.
I just kind of spoke from the heart about how I feel about the PBSO. That was most of it.
In the matter of the people versus Kyle Pred, we have deliberated and come to a conclusion, and this is the verdict of this court. All charges are being thrown out. This was absolutely ridiculous. This has been an eye-opening experience for this panel. Both the judges and the Senate were absolutely disgusted at the lack of a unified police department within this courthouse today. What we saw was tribal and brutal in a way we were not expecting. You must understand the ruling that the Senate has arrived at should be treated with the utmost seriousness. So, for the next 7 days, 1 full week beginning right now, Sam Bass has been transferred and will receive the rank of Sheriff of the Paleto Bay Sheriff's Office. And Kyle Pred has been transferred and will be the LSPD Chief of Police. Your
Put her there,
conduct
Pred.
during this transition
Hold on.
will
Stop talking
determine-
now. Stop
I am serious.
talking. Grayson is talking.
Your conduct during this transition period for the next week will determine whether or not you keep your current roles going forward. Do not mess this up. Do not bring shame to the departments you will be serving going forward for this week. It's time to bring these departments back together. Gentlemen, it's time to find a unified police department. You must learn to see the value in the officers you will be serving with for the next week. If we are not happy with where we stand within a week, both your positions will be under evaluation by the Senate. Does everybody understand what's happening?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Understood, Your Honor.
Yep.
That is the verdict of this
Understood.
court.